Yeah, just continuing on with this piece really. So just use the loop spinner just to select all the edges for you, and then just do ring, convert to poly. Basically going to extrude this piece out so we don't need these middle bits. So we're just going to do a 0 extrude and then pull it out ourselves. Basically we don't have the access to do our scale that we'd like on this piece. So again we'll just use an instance, rotate this around so we can actually use the axis. That way we can just use the view and then just scale it how we want. As you can see, it updates the model in real time. So we're just going to get rid of a few bits we don't need. Basically, to delete the first and last poly, and that way you can just use the ring to get rid of the rest. In this case, scale wouldn't quite work, so we will actually use the slider here. And again, I hate leaving the slide as they are, so just do apply and then cancel to reset it. Obviously, just with that piece, I was basically a bit stuck here, like kind of what to do in my mind. So usually, if you get stuck on a piece, then you just like work on something else, and then usually figure out a solution by then. So basically, just move on and start getting this piece done. So let's give this piece the same amount of edges as the one at the bottom. Basically just going to use our little chamfer trick to get a few more edges. Again, we're going to have this piece a bit more divided. So we have like a variable density cylinder like we do at the bottom. Yeah, it's going to be easier to line up our cylindrical shape if it's snapped to all the vertices, so we'll just rotate that around. And instead of using the circle reference, we're just going to use what we've already got. So basically just made another clone as a copy, and then just left it as is, and then we'll be working on the instance one. I forgot to weld up the vertices after we did the little chamfer trick, so just got to make sure we weld those up. The vertices will basically be on top of each other, so make sure you stay like near the lowest weld threshold. And we'll just kind of match this as close as we can, really. Flicking between the two, we can't really see much or any discrepancies between the two, so it looks alright, and we'll just roll with that. So let's delete those so we don't need them anymore. So you can see our changes have been made on the original model. And that makes merging these parts a bit easier. So again, just attach it once you've taken off the turbo smooth. He's just adding in some vertices so we can match up the edges on each of the pieces. Basically just bridge those together. Basically starts our initial link, then we'll just continue with poly pushing, kind of making it a solid object, make it look nice and clean. It looks alright so far, so we'll just delete the underside polys, we don't need those. Making a few minor adjustments. Again, at the time, I didn't particularly know how to go about merging all the rest of that piece together, or I just couldn't be bothered. So I just move on to doing another little bit of it. So you eventually get it all done if you just bounce back between doing different parts of the same object. Yeah, so I move them down like bit by bit. Basically, if you've got two edges and try to slide them both down together, once the top edge, the point where it would actually hit the bottom edge, then it will stop if you try and drag them both down together. So if you've got two close edges, you just got to move them down just bit by bit, really. It's basically just using our copy to line up the edges. And again, we don't need it, so delete it. And again, we just select our polys for the bridge. Just double checking I've got the same amount of polys. So the bridge hasn't worked. Occasionally it can mess up if it's on like acute angles or whatnot. So basically we just bridge the two and then just bridge the other two and just kind of do it manually as well. Really making a minor adjustment to the cylinder there, so it basically shouldn't be visible. And then we'll just get on with bridging the other two bits. Just making sure we delete the middle faces as we go. And just cap the end again. can basically do a ring command on there, and if it doesn't go all the way around, we know it's not welded. So I'll just do a weld to make sure it's all connected, and now our weld function should work. Occasionally you get a broken poly, so just make sure you delete it and then double check the borders and cap it. So now our ring works, so we can get on with adding the edges. So it's looking alright so far. And as the front piece has a slant, we're going to hide that because we can't actually see any reference for this piece, so I just assume that this piece connects to the back of this bit as well, so we'll just put in a bit of a slant here. So just get a selection, hold control, use the little red arrow, get rid of all these edges, which basically makes a straight line, which is what we want. Then we just need to add in our edges again. Polys aren't welding, so we've obviously got a stray poly overt somewhere, so we just need to sort that out. So just use X-ray mode there, so X. And we'll just slide all these down. Them parts were connected, it's just there wasn't any edges there. So I should re-add those in. And you can see that double edge constraint effect I was on about earlier. So basically you just have to move them bit by bit. Basically just do those bits by eye, because I can just use a make planar or something similar a bit later if there's any errors or whatnot. Make sure it's going to do that, make a planar. Always when you're doing selections, just do a quick double check of the other side, you haven't select any unwanted vertices or polys. contemplating doing the make plane on that as well, but I think I'll just add them back in. Yeah, maybe we will do the make planer. Instead of doing that, which the make planer didn't quite work, so basically that method would just get rid of all the edges, but leave the border edges. That basically makes sure it's all flat, and it's basically just a case of just cutting the edges back in. Basically just put the vertice connect command on my quad menu. I think I get fed up of using it by the end of this tutorial, so I think I'll put it on a hotkey after doing this. And just basically using whatever works. If connect's not working, use the cut tool, cut connect, tacked in new edges, delete edges, just basically whatever works. The intersection point was changed a bit because we changed the angle of this surface, so we'll just drag it forward and just bring it straight back without edge constraint. That way we know it's all lined up to our new face, and then we can just adjust the edges to bring that curve back in. Yeah, we need to try and get rid of a few of the edges, so I was trying to cancel them down, see what works. But yeah, just try and get this all attached, and then we can clean up later if need be. Basically decided to undo that because there's actually a curve that connects this piece to the bridge between the two cylinders. So with our edge loops we can actually continue them around and actually loop them around the hard edges instead of trying to cancel them. Again, can be able to do that part right away, so I'll just move on back to this bit again. Basically just trying to delete all the bits that we don't need. Basically wanted this curve to come around a bit more than we had it with the extrusion. So I just remade the edge there. So I just re-add in the cuts and then just get it all welded up. Yeah, weld on hotkey, so I just select the edges and just weld them up. And once you're done welding, just make sure you do border select and then do select all. Just basically double check you haven't missed anything. So border select will show if there's any holes in your mesh at all. So you basically need this edge to come out straight instead of the angle that we did with the initial extrude. Basically it's lining the straight edge up with this edge, just so it should all fit together perfectly. and we should use the front view to line that up. You see all these edges need to be in a straight line. And just by using the local we can just push them up and they should still stay in the same orientation. And just target welds up and delete that edge again. So that leaves us with that flat edge that we were after. Yeah, that's pretty much the adjustments we'll do for this bit, and then we'll just continue again in the next part.